What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 182, presented by Edge VR Arcade, Creative Edge Productions, and Cousin Subs, where I don't think your promo code's active, but it will be soon again. So,
or it'll come up with something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we got lots to talk about, and no, we're not depressed.
No.
You know, I mean, it stinks, but
Yeah.
where do you want to go first?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great way to start.
Thank you. So, to the partners, to the fans, to all of our staff. So, historic season, historic stat lines, and
amazing season.
Yep. Yeah, and some really cool news came out if you watched Media Day, and us getting honored to host a game to start the season next year. So there's a lot to hang your hat on. I understand football and sports are a game of inches, but the scoreboard also doesn't define. I'm not going to do it. 12 years of ownership for you guys, so pretty cool.
I'm not going to let 2 inches. I'm not going to let 2 inches. And that's going to be. Is it too soon? Can we do that? I'm not going to let 2 inches define our team.
Yep.
I'm sorry. And maybe if we had Blue Chew, we would have gotten the 2 inches.
I knew you were going there before you actually went
had to
there,
do it.
so,
I just had to do it. No. So, I mean, you want to talk about the experience first? You want to talk about the game first? You want to leave the game for last? What do you want to do? Because I could go either way. We got lots to share.
We can do the experience.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So we'll talk about a couple of things. Of course, one of the things, I do have a rage cage.
Nice. Finally, Sean.
I do have a rage cage, but we'll leave that to the end.
I want to thank Sean through the journey here too, specifically being flexible and some weird episodes sent at some weird times, and just we get to do this thanks to our great partner in Edge and Creative Edge, specifically Edge on this one in VR Arcade, because Sean does the edits even though we have a joint partnership there. So we are grateful that you are accommodating and want anything to do with this. So
yeah. Thanks, Sean. He's like,
how you can thank Sean is visit Edge VR or
Yes.
Appleton and Green Bay and check out everything from basic arcade time to VR mobile arena, and birthday parties and all of it. So
yeah, and we still need to do
yes,
our version.
Yep.
We need to get on some headsets and do that as well.
Absolutely.
Probably run into a wall or something.
100%.
No doubt. So let's talk about the experience. So I was there on Wednesday. Larry and I went down with the team. It's hot in Tucson. It's nothing to be 107. And although our hotels were close to one another, literally 3 blocks, you just did not want to make that walk in the middle of the day. It was really, really hot. It was a great experience from Tucson being welcoming, the hotels being welcoming, the food that was prepared that we had arranged for and then gone to because there were meals where the team traveled to. All excellent. Brother John's, that was their names, right?
Yeah, I saw. I wasn't in town yet, but I think that was the name I saw on band.
They were a barbecue joint, but they have great catering there. Larry and I met the owner. Good stuff. So just a lot of great things. We met the family that owns El Charro, the cafe, a taco joint, Mexican joint. Just really cool, the heritage that is there. He took us into the back rooms, and just a wonderful experience from a people perspective. So Tucson's definitely got it going on from a hospitality standpoint, I would say, and the Sugar Skulls as well. The Sugar Skulls were very accommodating. We have 2 ladies that work their butts off there, and they do dual time between the Rattlers and Tucson. So shout out to them and their staff. The Sugar Skulls had their field down, so that was part of the tailgate party. Yeah. That was part of practice in the expo center. So they did a really good job with what they had to work with. And I think, anytime you go into a venue, there's prep that the venue can do, and then there's prep that the league has to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that later, but I think they did, with the tools and resources that they had, they did their best. And I would like to give a shout out to Shane and Mike at the Tucson Event Center, because they were phenomenal to work with. We had some trials and tribulations when we first got there with the field. The field was down already. The paint was already there. And then we found out that they actually had it, and this is behind the scenes, they had it installed upside down. So then the logo got painted, but the things that were on the field were as though it was in Arizona, where the camera's
sure.
on one side,
Yep.
but here the camera's on the other side. So the logo got painted right, but we had to do some switcheroo stuff with the field. But when you put these fields down, and we're going to show it later because I have a section of field here, when you put them down, there's Velcro that holds them together. And if you don't put them down exactly the way that they're supposed to be, it's off by an inch.
Yeah.
And then each section that you put down, it's off by an inch. So by the time we got there to put our end zone in, it was off by 9.5 inches. So we couldn't move the field. So we had to adjust our end zone. And, and we were joking because the lines the yellow lines on the dashers didn't line up with the lines on the field. So we were like, oh man, we're off by a couple inches. This end zone's deeper than that end zone. Well, there's your 2 inches. I'm joking. It ended up getting to where it needed to be, but there was a lot that had to happen. We did have to cut some of our fields, so there's a panel we have to replace before next season, which again, we'll talk about in a little bit. But there was a lot of work that went into what had to get done, and Larry and I are up for that. We're working people, and I don't know that I would see any other owners doing what we were doing, but that's not to fault them. We're just different people. So our field looked great. Our end zone looked great on the broadcast. I know that. Even I haven't yet seen the broadcast. I saw it when it was happening live, and it looked great on the broadcast. The prep going into the game, media day was good.
Yeah.
The only thing I have with media day is, why do we have 4 players up there if they're not going to get asked questions?
Right. Yeah.
I've liked media day in the past, and I kept seeing Eric doing this, like, we're done. And I'm like, we're not done. We haven't even talked to these guys yet. I liked it better when we had specific questions for the 4 that were up there.
Yep.
I also didn't like the fact that they couldn't get our 4 guys' names right. I don't know where they got the 4 names from that they announced, because we didn't give them those 4 names. We gave them the names of the guys that were sitting up there, and it would have been nice. It was a moment of prestige to be up there. So you got to get their name right, but then you also should ask them a question or two.
Sure.
We chose them for a reason. So I would have liked that better. I understand the interviewing of the owners versus having an owner say something. It would have been nice for us to say what we needed to say, but again, I get it. In the past, there's been owners that have said too much or not the right things. So it is what it is. It's our first time there, so we're going to take what we got and, live with it. But we had a great showing at the media event. I think we had a great showing and representation at the tailgate.
Yeah.
As well as at the game itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good, no idea what the count was, but there was plenty of green. So, yeah.
And the tailgate was it reminded me, having been to a Super Bowl, it reminded me of what you try to create at the Super Bowl, a place for kids to be.
Yep.
There was music. The dancers that were there were phenomenal. Obviously, the IFL banner was there, so we took a lot of, photos in front of it. I saw there was one of Larry with you guys as a family.
Yeah.
But not me.
I was walking around and I got pulled into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
You were working the room.
And it was, yeah. What was it? Is she the one that looks like?
Yeah, she's the one. She looks like she's in charge.
She was working the room.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Shout out to Mr. Fan Cave.
Yeah. But anyway, I think in all, it was a great experience. It's definitely a great experience. The end was not, of course, what we wanted or expected, but definitely something that was worth going to. And we'd do it again. We'd do it again. So we brought the ball. I know you guys saw it. This, obviously, it's deflated, but it has the Tucson on it and then the logo. And this was just a mini one that we got as owners. So it's the same thing. Destroyer Rocks, shout out to them. They're the ones that handled the merch. Not only the balls, but then a lot of the, the winning shirts.
Yep, and that shirt.
And this shirt,
Yep.
yes, is also, this is the one that was sold both at our watch party as well as at the arena down there. We had badges that we could wear, so team, the only one I'm missing here is media. So people were part of the media. They had a media badge on, team badge or owner badge. So that's all really cool. I do want to give a shout out, and his name is Eric, but
Eric, yeah.
His last name?
Raleigh. Sorry if I got that wrong, but that's how it looks.
So Eric has done things like this for us. For the players, he makes different cards and signing things that the players can distribute. And I just want to say thanks, because this was a really cool memento to have of Larry and I, because we're not spotlight people. I mean, you might think we are because we have this podcast, but Ryan and I are truly behind the scenes. We're not about being flashy, flamboyant people. We weren't about to go and lose our minds after the game by not winning. We wouldn't have lost our minds if we had one. So we're just not those people. So to have something like this that somebody captured is really cool. So thank you so much for that. And I believe there was another one that we received that was of the team.
Oh, yeah, I think
a
so.
full team one that was more of like a snow background. So I just want to say thanks. And it's really cool to have the support that we've had. And from a team perspective, we said we had good representation. We had a lot of fans in Tucson. Shout out to our Arizona fans that were at the game. They weren't all there, but Junior was there with his wife. So I went to say hey to them. And they agreed with me, a little too close of a game, literally. That was right after half. But shout out to Vegas. At the end of the day, there has to be a loser. We said that coming in. I don't look at either of these teams as being win or loss. They played a great game. It definitely showed the offense of both teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, number 1 and number 2 offense on the field. Mike and I were talking after, and he said both DCs should be fired from the Blizzard and
which ironically
and
is him
Vegas,
and Roberson.
because it'd be him and Roberson. Because the only time there was a stop was on the final play of the game. So, it was a kind of a joke that defensively we just did not. Going into the game, we said whoever gets a stop wins.
Mm-hmm.
We just thought it would have been us a little sooner than the final play of the game. But, it was a well-played game. And for those of you that were watching, and even from where we sat, because we were way down on the end, it did look like TJ got in. And it did look like Max got in. But I can tell you all that after seeing footage that was not part of the broadcast, TJ did not get in. So where the ball was placed was real, and Max did not get in. So, there's no need to protest it. There's none of that has to happen. We didn't win. At the end of the day, that is the deal. The only play, there were calls that I wish would have been made. I'm not going to say that the refs screwed up the game for us, because they didn't. I will say that near the end, it seemed like they wanted to get more involved than they had been all along. There was a call where someone was standing over Canada and taunting, and he didn't get an unsportsmanlike, which I thought was unfortunate, because he should have. And instead we reacted, and then we got it called on us. To me, that was an offside an offsetting penalty that could have been done. But really, the only questionable one was the pass interference. And I know I had heard from some people at the watch party that was the one thing that the refs got wrong. And I would have to agree with that. Having watched it again, because again, we had footage that we had of it, and what was going on and what they called the pass interference on, the ball was never going to be in that receiver's hands, and those two were tangled up all well before the ball was over. It wasn't pass interference, but it got called. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we have to be up a score at the end of the game, not fighting to score in the last 3 seconds of the game. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I'm sure there's, coaches beating themselves up. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Vegas was offsides during that play. So you have to ask, how come that wasn't seen when the refs went out to review whether or not he got in? Well, that's not what they were going out there to review. They were going out to review whether or not we got into the end zone. So does that need to get looked at? We could, as a league, say, hey, they need to look at everything in that play to make sure it was a clean play. But that could also work against us, because if we had gotten in and they, and we did something else in getting in, you just have to, if you're going to ask for that, you got to realize there's both sides of the equation. If we're going to do something like that. So, great playoff run. I mean, we had in 3 playoff games, our offense, they did what they needed to do on every single possession except for 3. One was 2 inches short. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they did and performed what they should. So Max and the offense should be very, very proud. Our defense, however, not that great. Now I want to talk about the emotional side of what we went through. And I'm gonna say that this pertains, if there's 2 words I can use as far as the league goes, as well as our team, the 2 words would be potential and discipline. You can have a lot of potential. Our league has a lot of potential. Both of our teams had a lot of potential. But it comes down to discipline. And when I'm talking about discipline, I'm not talking about your heart in the game. I'm talking about the discipline as an athlete. We had a slogan called Enam that we used throughout the season. It's not about me. And I would say that when we were in our bench area for the Eastern Championship, you could see, and we even talked about it on this show, the players were so uplifting with one another, and they were, not in each other's faces. If somebody made a mistake, they're like, hey, you'll get it next time. Yeah. There was camaraderie. There's what you expect in getting it done. And when there's discipline, and to me that's discipline, when you're supporting each other, there's structure with discipline. And there's also freedom when you have discipline, right? Freedom to make mistakes because you can recover. Our bench area, especially the second half of this game, was not the same. And I get that the pressure of a championship can weigh on you and can, bring you down. But as a team, we weren't that same Enam mentality. And we needed to be. We needed to pick each other up, and we needed to do what we could. I will say that at the end of the game, and there's those of you that think that this is the way football should be played, we had taunting that was happening to our fans and to our team by the players. And I get the game's over, but they won. There was no reason to flip off the ownership, the team, the coaches, the fans, and just have his finger waving in the end zone as a final salute, if you will, and having to have a fellow player come, and I think it was Johnson actually, come and get him to say, that's enough. That to me is undisciplined. And that's why you're not in the NFL. That's why our league is lesser. So we have to do a better job of cleaning that kind of stuff up, because there's no reason for that. And that's not a rant. That's not a rage cage. It's just a fact. If we're disciplined as a league, if we're disciplined as ownership, all of the potential that we have gives us a structure that we can work from. And the league has, as we found out at our league meetings, there's a ton of potential out there. But if we don't remain disciplined and have structure, we're going to blow it for ourselves. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You can, again, potential is great, but if there isn't discipline with the potential, the potential is going to be wasted. And so, that's from an ownership standpoint, that's from a team standpoint, that's from a player standpoint, a front office standpoint. You know what it's like. If you're not disciplined going into game day,
yeah,
what do you have?
I'm gonna lose a kid.
You got chaos.
Yep.
You got chaos.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to lose a kid.
Like they will be missing their parents somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you have to have that structure,
Yeah.
right? You have to have that structure. And if you have the structure, it gives you the freedom to make last minute decisions. It gives you the freedom to do things that you couldn't maybe normally do. So at the end of the day, we lost the game. It is what it is. There's no need to go and make any more of it. Vegas played a great game. Vegas won. So congrats to Vegas. Congrats to the Foleys. Congrats to Mike Davis. They've only been in the league for 4 years. They have a championship ring now, or will have rings, and more power to them.
Yeah.
What else you want to talk about? This has become the Kathy Trinker show.
No, it's good. I think people you know the inside stuff sometimes, that right?
Yeah.
I sat as a fan, so I had no clue what was going on based on my angle on the bench to see any of what you saw versus Quad Cities. I was standing in the bench area, so I understood what you're saying. So,
yeah.
Yep.
And I think we had a lot of potential. I talked to the members from the league after the game and during the game about some of the things that we got to clean up if we're going to, do another game in Tucson, and if we're going to do another game on the CBS Sports Network. I mean, there was the delay, which happens when you're on a national broadcast. We can't say we want a national broadcast and then be upset about it being late. And I was like, okay, that's fine. They had another game on that was close at the time, and then it wasn't so close. So then it was easy to say, hey, we're just going to be delayed, and it is what it is. And we realized we had people sitting in theaters waiting. And I do want to show the lovely
the movie
poster.
Yeah.
We did a great poster, so
Yeah.
we need to show that to everybody.
I can send that image. Tyler,
Yeah.
not sure Tyler watches these, but he'll have to eventually. Is extremely talented, one of our graphic designers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was on the marquee, like now showing,
Yep.
and it was the poster of our team and production company and everything else. So really, really cool from that perspective. So thank you to everybody that came out. It was great that you had to stay till the end to find out if we won. Not that great to have the finish that we did. So truly an exciting game. For the IFL to want an exciting game, I mean, we've seen championship games that were blowouts, right, or one team didn't show up, and this was definitely something to watch. You didn't know. Mm-mm. You didn't know how it was going to end. You really did not. So it was pretty cool. I will say, though, it was weird to have a mascot on the field during play.
Yeah.
You didn't get that.
Yeah. And I always thought it was weird that the dance teams in some buildings are all the way in the back of the end zones, too. Like, what happens if it's an interception and the ball comes that way in a matter of seconds? Like,
you gotta hustle.
Flips.
Yeah.
Like, it's just odd.
And we had a lot of cameras out there, which is fine. I get it. We needed all of that from a production standpoint, but sometimes too much is just too much. And why didn't we have the right angles at certain times? That is one of the things the IFL has to work on is, especially with how many plays came down to the last play of the game this season, having the right camera angles, instead of having the drones making everybody dizzy, whipping around, have them stay on a play and focus and then just slowly go away. I mean, I could see those things whipping around and I'm like, oh my God, that thing's making me dizzy just watching it. So I don't know if those were on some kind of automatic or somebody was driving those.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it's the first time seeing them live for me in that environment. So,
yeah. But every time we have used them, it's kind of you feel like you're on a roller coaster. So, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I only brought it because if I hadn't, you would have said, "Where is it?" So there it is. I was shocked. I was shocked to get that. I have received it before. This is an award that is very, very meaningful. And as Ryan knows, this is a peer award. And maybe they're not feeling this way anymore. But this is from other ownership. And who votes on this? Is it ownership only?
I think so.
Or is it per team?
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
ownership. Yeah.
So all of the league awards that you saw that came out. So fan base is based on numbers. That's probably the only one that is not
a vote,
yeah. Right? It's just raw numbers. They got a big belt to celebrate. So fan base is their thing. But franchise of the year is voted on by the ownership. Executive of the year. Give me the other ones. Social media, broadcast.
Yep. Dance team. Game day ops.
Hospitality.
Pettit.
The John Pettit Award is not, well, we can all submit. The Pettit family is the one that decides that. And shout out to Destiny for a well-deserved award in getting that she does so much behind the scenes. And Doug did a very good job of giving her story and why she got it.
Absolutely.
Did a very good job. So done with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Put it over here. So I want to talk about this a little bit. So this is turf. I want to explain to you guys just how our turf works because we've talked about it. Yep, that's Velcro, but we haven't actually showed it on the show. So these are sheets, and how long are those sheets? 4x8? Is that what it is?
Ish, yeah, I think so.
4x8 sheets that we get, and for us, our things are sewn in.
Yep.
So the stuff that we have, the actual Blizzard logo and anything we had in the center or in the end zones is sewn in. And then this is just regular turf, as you can see. And then they Velcro together. So when I say that how it was that it got off, if you don't have this butted up before you have it go down, what ends up happening is there can be a small space in between. And so like right now I can fit my finger in there. That becomes an inch, over an inch, over an inch, over an inch. And then pretty soon your end zone can't fit in because you have this extra space in between. So you got to be very careful when putting this field down. The guys at PMI do a great job. But there is some finesse to it when you fit them together so that you can't get any space in between. So that's sealed up really nice. So this is an example of what the turf looks like. This is what the league has standardized on as well. The name of them is
Next Field, NEXX Field.
Next Field.
Yep.
So anybody that's getting a new field, and there are some fields out there that have to get replaced, this is what they have to get. No more of the rolling fields that then have the
hills and valleys.
Hills and valleys. We've lived that. These are really nice to maybe not so much you can get turf burn pretty easy on them, but they're a great field and they're easy to put down. They go down really quickly, unless they don't fit. Not so much. So thank you, PMI. We are replacing this, so don't worry, Christy, we got it replaced. But we did have to cut it because the end zone was shifted towards us, our stuff curled up over the wall. And of course, where did it curl up the most? But the area for the team to come on. Yep. So we had to we had to cut this off to make it lay flat, and it is what it is. So we're going to save that piece, though, because when we go back, then we have it.
Nice.
What else you got about the game? I think I've said a lot. All I've been doing is talking. So what do you want to say?
It was good.
You were a fan, and you stayed in the stands. You were actually on the Jumbotron.
Multiple times. Half of Green Bay texted me that I was on TV. Thank you, Green Bay. Yeah.
It's like they knew who you were.
Right? I don't know that. But most of the Blizzard fans in the same area, so it was easy to find the crew of us on camera. I was by Myler's parents. Sophie was over by me, Nolan, Eric Martin, kind of all in the 2-3 section area. So, yep.
Yeah, and I will say it was very cool to see parents there for their kids, for their sons, girlfriends, wives, children. That is really cool, and I like that family atmosphere. I mean, we had Markel had his children down there, Matt had his child there. Again, wives, girlfriends, parents. We met Andrew White's Andre White's.
Oh yeah.
Andre White's parents at the airport.
Carter's family was there too.
Carter's family, Park's family. It was really cool. But we met the Whites at the airport, and she was like, "Blizzness? Are you one of the owners?" It was cool to hear Blizzness, and then so we met them at the airport, and obviously, other than 2 inches, it was great. So we got to do some kind of a shirt. Why don't you guys, as fans, send us some things that we can use as motivation for next year? Lost by something. It's going to be the 2 inches season. I just know it. Yeah.
No, I don't. I know why I don't like watching games, but it was cool. Yeah.
There were times my sister was there, and there were times where I had to just walk because I was up by where we had one of the cameras for snip back, and just it got to be like, oh my gosh, this is not happening. This is not happening. But it was happening.
Yep.
So, do you want to know my rage cage?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my rage cage. And I know you've all experienced this, but it took every ounce of me not to do one of these. All right, that's enough. And I didn't know who it was until after I stood up. And I got Oakley down here. And so he just heard me do that, and his ears just went up like, wait, what's going on? So
he's now checking on you.
Yeah, I'm okay, buddy. I'm okay. So you've all had it. You got the constant when you're on the plane, and you're like, oh my God, what are you putting in the pocket that you have to push my seat forward? So I at one point I leaned over to Larry and I said, so what's happening behind me? Is it his knees? Is he like really tall or what? And he's like, yeah, it's his knees. So I'm thinking I'm going to turn around and it's a 6'4" guy, right? No, it's an adolescent boy who was taking his feet and putting them on my seat. And so I get up, and I mean, my whole body was jerking forward from this. And then he was shoving probably his iPad or whatever in the seat. So I turn around and I go, I should have known. And I looked at him, and his mother was there, like, mortified, like, I'm so sorry. And I just left it at that. The kid knew what I meant, and there was no more that needed to be said. So that's my rage cage. Flying and that. Be courteous to the people sitting in front of you. I mean, I was watching the woman next to me. She kept, like, taking her feet and slamming them instead of just setting them on there. Just realize there's somebody in front of you, people. That's my rage cage.
I like it. It's always airline related.
Well, it should be. It's either airline or food or something. So there you go. Sorry that it wasn't something about the game, people. I wasn't going to do it.
Nope.
I'm not that person.
Right.
So, and I'm happy not to be that person. All right. So when are we back?
I don't
Are
know.
we taking a hiatus? Because there's a lot going on behind the scenes already. We have balls. We're actually approving artwork when we're done here.
Yeah. Whenever you want to be. I don't know if we
Okay.
go to bi-weekly, the school years start. We have Labor Day, so probably not next week.
Yeah, we won't
So,
do one
yeah,
next
yep,
week. So enjoy the Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
How about we say, so we're working on the schedule to be out in October. How about, do we want to take September off?
Sure.
So we'll be,
Once the ball artwork's done, because we, again, broken record, it is behind the scenes. I actually need to rest a little bit. So it is incredible. I just sent it to the partners today. Like, it's really cool, and we're blessed and fortunate to have gotten to play 3 games. I'm also behind in dad world and football artwork, and it's just
Yeah, we
things
gotta
that
catch
have
up.
to get done.
yeah.
But then we need to breathe before the schedule hits.
Yeah.
So yes,
We
yeah,
have to,
yep.
we have to take a break. So, even though there's a lot happening, we
Yep.
can recap it come October. So we'll be back that first week of October, whatever date that is.
Speaking of dates, one of the coolest things over the weekend is when we're playing football to start next year. So
Yep.
literally the IFL Hall of Fame game will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin to start the entire season at the Resch Center in a rematch against the Vegas Nighthawks March 15th.
It's a Sunday game,
Yep.
so it's in the afternoon. It's going to be our Faith and Family.
It is actually, and
Yep.
Todd was really excited about that. So
Yep.
the game is going to be big for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah, it's
So,
going to be a
yep.
big kickoff
Yep.
to the season. I really want to work with OT Sports to get the jerseys we should have gotten
Yeah.
that our other partners screwed us on. Just going to say that because we had a deal.
Yeah, I actually am going to shout out there because we won't let the cat out of the bag, but there's some potential, some cool jerseys this year, and I have actually been thrilled to work with OT Sports and Jeff from Destroyer Rocks on everything. I think the league had done a really good job with partners there. We just got to protect those partnerships, too.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we didn't protect them, so therefore our guys didn't get the chance to be in a championship game jersey. Both teams were supposed to get that as part of that deal, but we screwed it up as a league. So that goes back to that potential and discipline. We'll just leave it at that. So much
Great
potential.
product.
Great
So,
product.
OT Sports, great product. And a couple of mock-ups came. Actually, I got to show them Larry and Kathy
Yeah, it
on the
was
owners'
really
meetings
cool.
on a handful of potential theme night jerseys, which are cool. So
Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not saying anything more about jerseys. That is what we're gonna say.
I will commit to, with her blessing, like, we're just running out of room to hang. Some of these are going to be better on my part. Like, when something falls through the crack in my world, unfortunately, it has been jersey auctions, and Dash is a great platform and another league partner. Like, we'll be way better at jersey auctions out the week of the game and you having time to bid on them and not being so
Oh, I didn't even know.
11th hour, which
Yeah.
falls on me, not on any other staff. Just like when something, I think you actually at the opener this year had something awesomely profound that you're sacrificing the masses to take care of one sometimes, and that's been the thing that's fallen through the crack. But including a current wave of jerseys, some additional ones, and even theme nights that are that night that won't run it back next season, we'll do a better job of getting. I've seen other teams do great jobs with jersey auctions, and I'm just going to be more forward on
Yeah.
it. So, yep.
Yeah. And speaking of hanging, we'll be hanging 2 banners.
Yeah. Which
So-
two?
Eastern Championship and MVP.
Yes. Yep. Cool. I didn't know if we were doing the MVP one, so I assumed
Oh,
so. Yes.
hell yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
Shout
what I
out to
thought.
Max Myler,
Yep.
who was announced as Mailer by our commissioner at the media event. So, Max Myler, shout out to you. I know this was you wanted to ride off into the sunset kind of thing. You had a great season. MVP was well deserved and great to be there when you got it. He had said to me, "Did you know?" And I said, "I did." And he said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I said, "Because you would have acted different." He said, "No, I wouldn't have." And I said, "Really? Really? Max, here's how it would have gone." He's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay."
Yeah, Ben, who did an incredible job and continues to do a great job, does a really good job of not telling me that stuff too, which the league asks, right? Because they want it released on their timeline. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
And we would never have released it to the public.
Yep.
But yeah, Max definitely would have. So put it this way, and I said this to Max. I said, as you were looking at all of the things that were going out, knowing your stats, how could it not have been you?
Yeah.
And that's what you needed to
truly,
rely
as
on.
soon as the offensive one announced, you had to know.
Yeah.
No different than last year when Joey saw a domino fall and we knew it was Rivers. So,
Yeah. Once you know the ones around you, then you know it's coming.
Yep.
So kudos to him. Congrats, Max.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we know. As far as October goes, that'll be when free agency opens up. So if we have or know of who's already signed, we'll definitely let you know and kind of go from there. And then I see Oakley's ears popping up around in the background. So, all right. I think we've Sean's getting nervous over there. I can see him fidgeting. He's like, let's wrap it up, lady.
He's
Come
like,
on.
let's go.
He's doing this.
No, we thank you for an incredible season. We'll be back and bigger and more Blizzard than ever, like we always are. So it's just not, scoreboard doesn't change who we've been and what this show has been for approaching 200 episodes. So
2 inches did
it's
not
a real
define
cool,
us.
proud moment to get to play in that game and represent our partners, our
Absolutely.
community, and Green Bay, and even that arena staff who thanked us for being us, like the stuff you don't see. You would be proud, as Green Bay folks watching this, how this team and organization behaved in a high-pressure environment when it's easy to lose it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I will say that there was a sea of kids at halftime that were in the way of our players making it to the locker room. And if it was a different team that was not as measured, someone could have gotten hurt by a flinging helmet or what have you. We made a path to get through those kids. But at the end of the day, it was really cool to have staff at the hotels, staff that worked the hotels, meals as well, not just at the front desk, but to hear all the way around how our team, as you said, they were cordial. They used people's first names. They made eye contact. They acknowledged that someone was working. Was really cool to hear.
Yes. I actually sent it verbatim in a corporate partner thank you this morning. It hurts, but I could not be more proud to have gotten the chance to play in that game, which you hope you even get that opportunity to have a historic MVP Eastern Conference Championship banners that will be hung and get to represent this town who have supported the Trinklers owning this thing and the Blizzard for so long. So it was cool.
Yes.
Really cool.
Yes. All
Should
right.
we hit them with it for about a month?
Let's hit them with it. We'll see you guys back with 2026 info.
You bet.
Next time we see you. Go Blizz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
Subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.